It's the Score North Twin Show.
Okay, well, it would be fun if we could just do like a full episode celebrating 9 straight victories, the longest winning streak by the Twins since 2008, since June of 2008.
Yeah, remarkable.
And we'll get to that. That deserves its flowers, but in classic Twins fashion, much like winning your first playoff series in 20 years is overshadowed by, within 1 month, ownership coming out with, hey, we're going to drastically reduce payroll. A 9-game winning streak for the Twins here, overshadowed by today. And maybe we might be breaking this news to some people who aren't like scouring the internet. If you attempt to watch a Twins game today through your Xfinity Comcast package, and they play what, at 1 o'clock? They play a day game.
Yep.
People are going to turn on their TV. And if you're YouTube TV, you've known this for 3 years. I used to be YouTube TV, and Bally's was part of that as Fox Sports North, actually, before the brand change, until they couldn't reach an agreement. The Twins are no longer available on cable TV, period. Comcast, right? 'Cause the only places you can watch a Twins game now on TV are Fubo and DirecTV.
Yeah, are they not on
locally?
Are they not on Charter?
Locally.
I don't know about the other, but yes, I'm a Comcast person.
So, but Comcast and YouTube TV make up huge percentages of the potential audience, and they've been off YouTube TV for several years.
Yep.
But they are no longer today. This is unprecedented in the last 20 years that a Twins game would not be available on cable TV, Xfinity, Comcast in the metro area. The last time this happened is when they tried to do the Victory Sports thing back in like 2004. And it was like a month and a half. They couldn't get a deal done with Comcast Xfinity, right? And then they just went back to Fox Sports North. So, man, what do you got to say about it, Judd?
Well,
you're the one affected. I have Fubo TV, by the way.
Me too.
So,
yeah,
I made the jump.
Well, first of all, the first I saw that this might be a possibility was on Monday, because DirecTV and Bally Sports. So, and it's not just North; it's all of them, because they're run by. We'll get back into this now. Diamond Sports Group. Bally's purchases the naming rights.
Yeah.
That's all. So
Bally's
no
doesn't.
Involvement.
Bally's didn't sign up for any of this bad publicity. They're just like the branding.
And
they've
why haven't
paid
they
for the
bailed?
naming rights.
I would have bailed long ago. I mean, this company's in bankruptcy. Diamond's, anyway.
Yeah.
So the first I saw was Monday, and then there was a report from John Orand, who is a very respected media writer, last night, that it looked like there was no agreement with Comcast, and that at midnight they were going to be off. And sure enough, I watched the rest of the Twins game, and now you get a blank screen explaining that there was no agreement. But first of all, I'm just beyond pissed off. But where do you start here? So everyone, and I've covered these before, having done the TV radio column back in the day for the Star Tribune for sports. So everyone in these situations points a finger. No one accepts responsibility.
Right.
Diamond says it's Comcast's fault. They didn't meet what we were asking for. They're negotiating in bad faith. Comcast says, no, it's Diamond's fault. We offered them a great deal. We allowed them to stay. They turned it down. It's their fault. The Twins say, we're in the middle of a divorce. What are we supposed to do? We're stuck in the middle. It's not our fault. So I would just like to be very direct here and pick one, because in Diamond and in Xfinity/Comcast, this is at the corporate level. So like Braves games aren't on Bally Sports South. So going off on the corporate people makes no sense. They don't care. They don't give a damn. It only affects them as far as it's just a headache. Let's focus on the Twins, okay? Because I think the Twins are the people, because they're in the community. They are your baseball team. They've won 9 consecutive games. And at the end of the day, they're what we want to watch right now. And people will say, well, it's true. The Twins don't have a thing to do. And I will say that's BS. Keep in mind, the contract with Bally's/Diamond and the Twins expired after last season. There were options. They're in place right now where the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, have worked with MLB, and it's expensive and difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, but to clear packages that, if nothing else, allow people to use their streaming services to get games. The Twins elected for a year to go back to Diamond. They are getting less, so they immediately said, we're cutting payroll. You already have a problem with distribution. If you guys recall, when Corey Provis was transferred from TV to, or from the radio to TV job, they put him on a conference call to say, part of the reason why I'm doing this is I am sure that all of you fans can now stream games. And so there's going to be clearance. So it's not like I'm talking to a small group. I'm going to be talking to all Twins fans. And that turned out not to be true. And now I'm not blaming Corey, but what I'm saying is they put him out there to make a statement that proved to be patently false. And at the time they knew might be false because the option to go back to Diamond did exist. Shame on the Twins here. You already, Phil, you said it perfectly. Last year, you win a playoff game. You finally have that. And you immediately say, we're cutting payroll. Then as things unfold, you do exactly that. You get off to a bad start. Now you're hot. And I saw a quote, or I heard our friend Dave St. Peter, the president of the Twins, was on CCO this morning. And he said they didn't know about this until this week. I think what he was saying was, we didn't know that they weren't going to work out the deal. They knew this contract was up.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, there's no, if they didn't, it's their fault. Like there's no, that's not an excuse. Well, we didn't know
because you know, dude, all of your points are spot on. And I think the conversation should be directed toward the Twins, who are one of like 14 teams affected by this today. But today is a day, if fans were kind of lukewarm because of the payroll thing, you know, a lot of fans were kind of like, oh, if this team is going to cut payroll, then I'm just going to be in wait and see mode. And you've seen them have to rope off the upper deck. Like, tickets have not been on fire. They completely buzzkilled any fan interest with their messaging and their lack of activity in the offseason. Sonny Gray leaving. And listen, I've tried to be the voice of reason when it comes to payroll discussion over the course of 10 or 15 years because of baseball economics. The Twins are never going to be like a top, like it's not reality that the Twins are going to be a top 6, 7, 8 payroll team. And so I've never loved the payroll arguments. But the TV thing and the way that this whole thing has played out the last 6 months is incredibly egregious because the one major piece of information that we didn't know when we were having these discussions from October all the way through now, is we didn't know that the Comcast deal was up on May 1st. Mm-hmm. That was a huge risk factor in this, right? Mm-hmm. So the Twins basically said, we're going to take the guaranteed check for 1 year, even though it's only like 75 or 80% of the previous year's check, so that we can at least not take a huge bath on revenue. We're not really going to invest it back into like a high-arm pitcher, like a high-quality, high-end pitcher. But what we didn't know is the games might be unavailable to the majority of the audience a month into the season. And so if you were to ask me, like, hey, all the risks and all the different factors, if I would have known, for instance, that, this bankrupt company, this broke-ass, right, dead-ass, antiquated business model company, right, has to come up with some sort of way to get back together with Comcast, Xfinity, or maybe even like YouTube TV, these platforms, I would say, well, that's not 100%. We've seen those deals go sideways all the time, right? And so I don't know, man. Like, it's that missing piece of information throughout the offseason that, that Comcast deal is up on May 1st was a huge deal. The Twins knew it all along, I'm assuming. Like, well, if they didn't, it's their fault. They either didn't know. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they did know, or they knew and they maybe took it for granted that it's just going to be a done deal for sure. They're going to find a way to renew with Xfinity, and maybe they do this week. But today is a day where a lot of Twins fans who bailed might be interested in watching a team that's won 9 games in a row. Carlos Correa's back, and they can't. And it's a peak moment of interest for the franchise, and people can't watch the games today. And you got Boston coming in this weekend. And look, for everyone who maybe
says...
Maybe ticket sales go up this weekend, I guess. Maybe that was part of the benefit for that.
But I think people should be more ticked off than ever. Like they're doing everything that they can to alienate you. And again, it's the team. It's the team. When you do business with the devil, if you get singed, it's your fault. And that's my problem here. And whether they knew or not, I don't care. It's their business to know. But the difference, in my opinion, between all of these Bally's teams and the Twins is I don't know if anyone else's contract was up. They were free and clear. They could have walked away and said, you know what, we're gonna go at this alone, and it's gonna cost us a lot. And fair or not, this to me is just another demerit on the very early resume of Joe Polat.
Yeah.
Like, what has Joe done well? And the problem too is the family has a history with media of never getting it. Victory Sports was if you had come to me doing the TV radio column, I think it was circa 2008, and said, should we do this now while we're trying to get a stadium? Should we potentially alienate? And what they did was they said, well, with MSC in the 90s, it worked. Well, guess what? From 1990 to approximately 2007 or so,
yeah,
the world changed. From 2007 to 2024, the world changed. But, what has Joe Polat, starting with, clearly he gave the go-ahead to say, we're going to cut payroll, and nobody stopped him. What have they done?
Who's going to stop him? He's the owner of the team.
Well, if I was Jim, I mean,
You think Jim's got a track record of saying, no, we're going to go?
No, but at least he wouldn't have said this. Like, everything Joe's done has been from an off the field standpoint. What has Joe done well? Like, this is ridiculous to me.
One more thing on this, and I will shut up and give the floor to Declan here. But what I think what boggles my mind here on this now that we have all the information, including the May 1st expiration of the previous contract, is the Diamond Sports Group that operates Bally Sports North. The Diamond Sports Group has proven over the past 2 years to be an unreliable, bad partner, an unreliable, antiquated, failing business model, and a bad partner that you were in a legal quarry with last year, right? And you opted to get back into business with them as a path of least resistance for the 2024 season. Yep. And meanwhile, you brought up the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. Now, maybe the Diamondbacks and the Rockies aren't making as much money off of their current TV situation as the Twins are this year. That's very likely, right?
They're not.
But what they are offering is direct-to-consumer streaming options for $20 a month. Correct. Where it doesn't matter if Bally Sports Arizona or whatever the hell the brand name is down there can't strike a deal with YouTube TV or Fubo or DirecTV or Xfinity or Cox Cable down in Arizona. None of that matters.
They went out of business, dude.
Right, you can just pay $20 a month or $99 for the season to just watch the games on MLB's app.
Bally's in Arizona folded up the tent and went home, which is what they should do everywhere.
And they will at some point. The Twins are helping keep them alive for one more year, and then in return, they can't strike a deal. You trusted them, a bad, antiquated, untrustworthy business already, to strike a deal with. You left it in the hands of that company and a gigantic cable company to determine your fate. And here we are today.
The press release that they released, the Twins did on this matter today, is also really just embarrassing. And
Can you read it? I've not read this yet.
The Twins, this is the press release, quote, "The Twins are disappointed by this massive disruption for our fans who simply want to watch our games. This situation is a business negotiation between Comcast and Bally. The Twins have no role or voice in this matter. We are hopeful the two parties are able to come to an agreement as soon as possible. The Twins have no role or voice in this matter. You got into bed with them. You had a role in that. You had a role to not do business with them. Yes, you are correct that this is a Comcast and Bally situation. Congratulations for pointing that out to us. The Twins have no role or voice into this matter. Yes, you do. You completely have a role in it. You made this happen. You knew a May 1st situation was going to come up, and now your team is winning, and now your fans want to watch your game. You 100% had a role in this. This is embarrassing. It's a slap in the face to a whole area of Twins fans that just want to watch baseball, and we've had so many discussions about how Major League Baseball has fumbled the bag on so many opportunities with streaming, but this one solely on the ownership of the Twins. There's no press release you can release that says that we are absolved of this. You made your bet into this. This is on you.
What's interesting about Amen. What's interesting about that press release is the way that they worded it is currently accurate, which is right now we have nothing to do with this. This is because they entered a contract, and that contract said our distribution rights, including streaming direct to consumer, belong to Diamond Sports Group for 2024. And so it's like you can send out that release today and say, well, we have nothing to do with this, but you had something to do with it 3 months ago or 2 months ago. I guess it was during spring training that they struck the deal, to what Declan was saying. The Twins chose a guaranteed check over a direct-to-consumer option that the Diamondbacks and the Rockies put out for their fans.
Yeah, and they knowingly, again, they weren't in the midst of a contract that would have had to be broken. They knowingly entered into, and that's what I'm saying is I don't know that any other team right now that's having its games not shown on its local Bally's affiliate had the option to be out of their contract.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating thing. But I mean, this is just, oh my God, from an Twins and MLB standpoint, how much more in 2024, where watching a game should be the last of your concerns, how much more can the league and this team in particular just completely screw this up?
Yeah, and to go up to the league level, I know that baseball's not dying. Like it's not, baseball's what is it, like a $15 billion? I don't know what. It's definitely baseball's not in hospice like some people, but baseball's average audience is much older than the NBA's average audience, the NFL's average audience. Baseball struggles to gain traction on digital platforms like social media compared to some of the other leagues, and baseball's TV ratings have been plummeting for its biggest events for years and years and years. And so you look around and you wonder, okay, baseball's not on life support, but baseball could use a little bit of a spike in audience participation here. Like the baseball could use
streaming,
some more viewership, and could use some peak moments of interest that get people that create appointment viewing more often than it does, right? And well, how can you even put together that game plan if people don't even know how or if they can watch games? Like they can't even figure out how to watch games. And what's funny is I remember we had this similar discussion when Bally's, at the time Fox Sports North, couldn't strike a deal with YouTube TV. This is back in like 2020 or 21. And I became a YouTube TV subscriber back 5 years ago because it was more cost effective. It was just I think it's a better interface and everything. And at the time they had the rights to Fox Sports North. And when that got taken away, I went on a similar rant and was like, why can't you figure this out? Like, I don't want to have to cancel YouTube TV and then go over here. And a lot of people were like, well, that's why people need to stop cutting the cord. Just go get cable and you can always watch the Twins games. And I said, are you sure about that? Because at some point, it's not going to be cost effective. There's at some point, the value of the network and the audience isn't going to be enough to charge what Diamond Sports Group wants, and there's going to be an impasse with cable. And here we are 3 years later.
Yep.
So just let me watch the games. Like in the NFL, it's national TV deals. You know where you're watching the games, right? And I know baseball can't necessarily do that the same way, but find something simpler for baseball fans to watch this product. I would love to give baseball a $100 bill so I can watch Twins games the rest of the year direct to consumer. Mm-hmm. And baseball and the Twins are telling me we can't take your $100 bill.
Well, and the most frustrating thing is they had a chance to say, yes, we can. And they're like, we're going to buy ourselves some more time. We're going to take a slight pay cut, and we're going to cut at least a really good starting pitcher, which makes it even more frustrating. The only thing that I hope is that this situation now gets the Wolves and Wild working on alternative plans for next season. Because if this can happen now, it can happen at any time. You know what? Get different plans. Get OTA. Go on channel 45.
We got to keep the theme music at least.
Oh yeah, but I mean, this like type of 11th hour surprise to me is just typical of a Bush League company, which I think we all agree Diamond basically is.
It is, man. It is. I mean, yeah, it's failing. It's broken. It is bankrupt.
Yep. And now
it is
it's
untrustworthy
unavailable on the biggest cable provider.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, that's like to put a bow on this from my perspective. I think the biggest takeaway here for me is, like you said, they had a chance to not continue business with this company. They chose to because it was the path of least resistance in the short term. They could just, it's easier to get it checked than to like start something from zero or start over, right?
Get trucks and all that stuff. It's expensive. No question.
And maybe baseball would help. Like I get, there's clearly an infrastructure for this that baseball is helping with to make it scalable. But the fact that you had a chance to not re-enter business with a company that's bankrupt, broken, untrustworthy, unreliable, and you did, and now we're sitting here. Now, hopefully they strike a deal today, and this rant was a fun one-day blip, and the weekend series will be available.
But we said the same thing 3 years ago about your YouTube rant.
Yep.
Well, hopefully they'll have a deal soon. No, it's a toxic relationship. The Twins are in a toxic relationship.
So before we talk briefly about this 9-game win streak, Declan will have extra innings content on the Score North Twin Show podcast feed and the YouTube channel. Click that like button, subscribe button on the brand new Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. Looking for a lawyer? Our friends at Nicolay Law are here to help you. Now, they're here to help you make sure that you get the compensation you deserve after an unexpected accident. They are the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Score North Twin Show, and they're proud to serve the communities that they live in. They're very much rooted in and around the Twin Cities metro area. They're just normal folks who happen to have law degrees, and you can start your path to winning if you've been injured at nicolaylaw.com. Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers, nicolaylaw.com or 1-855-NICOLAY. Our friends at Dennis Kirk are here as well. Maybe you're unable to watch your favorite baseball team on TV, and so you got a little extra time on your hands. Why don't you go for a ride? Hop on that motorcycle, ATV, UTV, dirt bike. Go to DennisKirk.com and check out over 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories, all the top brands. Same-day shipping on orders placed before 8 p.m. Central Time, and free shipping on orders over $89. DennisKirk.com, gentlemen. DennisKirk.com. First 9-game win streak since 2008. I have the box score from the last time the Twins won a 9th game in a row.
Okay.
This is from June 26th, 2008. It was a
we,
fourth.
Can we possibly guess, leadoff hitters and lineups and stuff?
I'll give you the score and the opponent, and then you guys can try and fill in what was happening on this day. So this was June 26th, 2008. It was an afternoon game at Petco Park, a 4-3 win over the San Diego Padres.
I remember this sort of
interleague game.
I remember this now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
Twins fell down 3-0 early in the ball game, and then they scored 4 unanswered in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings to jump up 4-3. So yeah, give me the. It looks like they had the. Well, a pitcher was hitting because it was Petco Park, so they had the 8 hitters and position players. And then they had a starting pitcher and some relievers in this game. And one pinch hitter, it looks like.
Okay.
Joe catching.
Maurer catching. Say Mike Redmond game?
And batting
third.
Batting third, Mike Redmond.
Wait, so... this must have been... Did you say that this was a day game?
Yep, afternoon game.
Okay, so yeah. So clearly Joe couldn't catch because, my God, his legs might fall off. Morneau at first, Dex?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, 3 for 4. A home run, 3 RBI in this game.
Kadai or where?
Hold on. Casilla at second.
And batting second.
Yep. So Brian Busher at third base.
2 for 4.
Wow.
Batting .386 with a 908 OPS at this point in the season.
Okay, who was at short? Bartlett's gone. Oh man, who would have been was
in 2008?
Punto at short?
Oh, Declan's honing in. It's not Punto.
Oh.
What would it have been? Wait, what year did I? Okay, no,
Is this
that
an
was
Adam
before.
Everett?
No, that was the 05, right?
That was
Or 07, maybe.
eminently forgettable.
Who would have been?
He was involved in the Jason Bartlett trade.
Oh, Brendan Harris.
1 for 3.
Oh, Royce's
Drew a
biggest
walk.
fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're looking for a left fielder and we're looking for a center fielder.
So span and center, right?
Span and right.
Span did not start in this game.
Okay,
I don't know
Gomez in center.
Leading off 0 for 5.
Kubel in right.
Kadire was in right.
Okay.
You
Kadire
already
in
got
right.
him. Kubel was in left.
Kubel in left. Okay.
There you go. Okay, now we're looking for
Who pitched? Who started?
a starting pitcher and a parade of 5 relievers to help finish this out. By the way, starting pitcher went 6.
Okay.
And then they used, because you didn't have to come out, you didn't have to face 3 batters. So Gardy loved to do the left, right, all that stuff.
The old Tony Fossis move. The Cardinals would face one guy.
Scott Baker.
He was the starting pitcher.
Okay.
That's a good guess.
6 innings, 3 earned runs.
Nice.
Underrated twin, actually.
Very underrated twin.
Scott Baker. Did almost no hit the Royals, the Metrodome. Was it that season?
Yeah. Almost, I think it was a perfect game. He had like
was
18 up, 18.
He was perfect through 8.
I seem to recall it was around September.
Yep, it was at the fair. So,
I mean, 5 relievers. Oh, there was a pinch hit. By the way, there was a pinch hitter too.
Oh, 5. I think you said 3. 5 relievers.
And we didn't hit
Craig Monroe was the pinch hitter.
Oh, Craig Monroe. Nice. Relievers. Nishek.
It's a good guess. He did not appear in this game.
Okay. Matt Guerrier.
Matt Guerrier, yes, he got a hold actually. Got a hold in this game.
Jesse Crane.
Well, all these guys got holds, I guess. Yeah, Jesse Crane.
So it got
3.
close.
We need 3 more.
What was final score?
4-3.
So Joe closed it out, right?
Nathan.
Yeah.
So 2 more.
The
relievers.
other 2 relievers tallied 1 out apiece. 1 batter faced, 1 out each.
Okay. Some Craig Breslow.
Wow.
I have a hot take that I'll give on this team in just a second. I think I've shared it before, but all right. So one more reliever. Craig Breslow. Maharis didn't come up yet. Juan Rincon's been gone. Guerrier we named. Crane we named. Is it a name we would know? Like, is it a common?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But not necessarily like because he was dominant, but it's 100% a name that was
Boof
very
Bonzer.
reliable and recognizable. Nope.
Okay.
Was
He's left-handed. He's left-handed.
was
Lefty.
was Swarzak around by then, or was he a southpaw?
He was a right-handed pitcher.
Okay.
Swarzak was.
Left-handed.
I don't.
He
think
came up
this-
in 09, I'm pretty
So
sure.
he just
Yeah,
got the
it
one
was.
out against the left-hander.
Dennis Reyes. Yes.
So he got the one out.
Let's go. Dennis Reyes.
Yeah. And then on the Padres side, Josh Banks was the starter and the loser.
Yeah.
Brian Corey, Justin Hampson, and then Clay Meredith. I remember Clay Meredith out of the bullpen. The lineup is full of household names, even though this Padres team at the time was 16 games under 500. Jody Garrett playing center field. Craig Stansberry was the second baseman. Brian Giles, Adrian Gonzalez, Kevin Kuzminoff, Chase Headley,
Nice.
Khalil Green,
Wow.
and then Luke Carlin was the catcher with Tony Clark as a pinch hitter. The current head
He was
of
a better
the
baseball
MLBPA.
player than he is head of the Players Association.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the last time the Twins won a 9th consecutive game.
I think even though the 09 163 was a more magical game, I personally think the 2008 Twins were a much better team than the 2009 Twins, and that includes Joe Mauer being an MVP in 09. I think that 08 team better than the 09 team.
Yeah,
And
because
deserved to move on.
they kind of like. I think if I remember right, didn't Morneau suffer an injury? Or was
In
that
09. In
Okay.
09. Both Mauer and Morneau were healthy, and both of them, I think, finished 2nd and 4th, respectively, in MVP voting. So they had two of the best
Yeah,
hitters.
you're right.
Scott Baker had like an absurd run where he didn't lose a game for like 4 months that season.
Yeah.
Joe Nathan was locked in. Denard Span was awesome for them. Casilla was really good that year. I think as a whole, that team was actually a lot better than 09. We don't really remember it.
What's crazy about that team, though, is so they rattled off the 9 straight wins, and then they also went on. So they 9 straight wins, but then they also had, right after that, 6 wins out of 8, and then another 5 out of 6. So they got up to like, let's see, 13 games. They were 13 games over 500 on July 19th. And they finished the season 13 games. So they played exactly 5. They got way up in July, and then they played exactly 500 baseball the rest of the way, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird season. So there you go, boys. Here's your trivia for the day here.
I don't think we're going to say, 15 years from now, that this team was outstanding.
What do you mean? The 2024 Twins?
Yeah, the 2024.
Why would you say that right now on May 1st?
Just a guess.
That's weird. That's a weird thing to
say. It's a super weird take at the end of an episode.
Really, really weird thing to say.
I'm just saying.
They're loaded, dude. Like,
I'm just saying. I don't think that we're going to say.
If Royce Lewis comes back, you don't think this team has a...
Dude. They've won 9 games against terrible teams. You win.
Wins.
You win. Yes,
Judd,
but now,
Judd.
But now you have to
played
prove
terrible
that you can
teams. They've played terrible teams for large chunks of their, by the way, previously division-heavy schedule that includes Royals, Tigers for 16 years.
Right.
And they haven't rattled off 9 straight wins.
Okay. But they've still won
It's
9
impressive.
games against. Yes, it's impressive, but now let's see what they do when they
Did you
start
see the
to play.
closer throwing 103 miles an hour? Did you see him throwing a 97 mile an hour breaking ball last night?
Boys. I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid. You play you win 2 or 3 or sweep Boston. Then you go and win 2 or 3 again. Then I'm impressed. Until then,
it's a baseball season. You're gonna play some crappy teams.
I understand that, but gentlemen, we are getting a little bit too overconfident by watching them beat bad teams.
Who's getting no? Did anyone say World Series on this podcast?
That's why I
said
Who are you
fighting right now?
That's why I said in 15 years. In 15 years, we're going to say we're not going to say.
No, you just said we were talking about an 88-win Twins team from 2008 that didn't even get to the playoffs because they lost game 163, and you basically said, "I don't think we're going to be talking about this team like we talk about the 2008 Twins." Like.
And the 2008 Twins were like this kind of weird, memorable team. I think that's the whole point of why we went down that path.
Right. Okay. I'm just saying.
So you're on the record saying these 9 wins aren't impressive, is what you just said, and that you don't think this team is going to be relevant in the playoff race at the end of the season.
I'm saying we're being fooled into thinking 9 consecutive wins, which is impressive, but you haven't beat a real team yet. You beat the White Sox in 4. You beat an Angels team that doesn't care in 3, and now you're beating the Sox again. Let's see how they play in this next stretch of games.
That's fine.
I'm just saying slow the roll. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm just saying slow the roll.
On Monday's State of the Twins, none of us said that they're now world. I even said there's a huge gap between them and the Birds and the Dodgers.
We were ready to wrap this episode, and you, in a very condescending tone, said. Let's just put it this way. I don't think we're going to be talking about this team like we talk about the 2008 team coming off 9 straight wins. Like it was we couldn't wrap the episode with you just like crapping on the Twins.
Yes, we could. It's
why? Like, it's weird.
I can crap on them if I want. It's not weird. It's not weird at all. I'm just saying slow.
Keep that same energy all year.
Let's slow our roll a little bit. And then if they start to beat teams that are good, then it gets more exciting.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
You guys are
Judd, they've been missing 2 of the best players in baseball for the entire season, basically. Mm-hmm. And they rattled off all those wins without those players. And
they still lack another starter. They still lack some things that they definitely need. I'm just saying to slow the roll. I'm not saying they're the worst team of all time. I'm not saying they're the 62 Mets. I'm just saying let's just calm down a little bit until they beat some teams that are actually competitive.
Okay. If you're excited about the Twins winning 9 in a row, the Sports Dad's here with a giant bucket of cold water for you.
Yes,
just what you needed today.
I am. Cold water. Let's just calm down, take a deep breath, and see how they do when they come out of this. They've literally been in the eye of a hurricane for 2 weeks now, and they're unscathed because in the eye of the hurricane, you're unscathed.
I have one more thought on this because I think this is now we're not going to come to common ground. As much as you think that there is a group of people that needs to slow their roll after 9 straight wins, I feel like you are dismissing winning 9 straight baseball games like it's nothing. Like it's just, anyone can win 9 games against these bad major league opponents, even though the Twins haven't done it in 16 years. With much better teams, by the way.
It's impressive, but as Declan said, it's a baseball season. So let's see now. Like this is just this is a half a chapter. So now let's see how they do when they play real teams again. If they had beaten real teams here 9 in a row, then I'm like, okay, it's go time. This is really impressive. I'm mildly impressed, but you're beating teams that are either terrible or don't care.
And I think everyone was fine with that. It was the weird fact we won't be it was a fact that we won't be talking about this team.
No, it was the tone of which you were just your tone was like, clearly we won't be talking about this crappy baseball team like we talked about that vaunted 08 Twins team that didn't even make the playoffs.
Declan said that they were better than 09, which is an interesting take, and I don't disagree with it. But what I'm saying is we won't remember this. If you're like comparing Twins teams of the vintage now, and in 15 years, we won't be talking about the 2024 Twins they were a big improvement on a team that won a division, for instance.
Okay. I mean, I disagree. I think this team can make a playoff run.
Okay. If they don't get more pitching, if they don't get more help starting, they can't.
Yeah. It's too bad there's not like a trade deadline that they can go find a pitcher or something.
Yeah, but remember, more payroll is a problem.
All right. I think this episode has reached its conclusion.
They've made their bed, and I'm going to pile on.
Okay. But the ownership thing is different than like the team dominating on the field for 2 weeks.
But if you can't go out and get a starting pitcher, you're screwed. Okay. You're screwing yourself. That's the same.
All right.
Anyway,
Score Our Twin Show. Let us know what you think of this argument here in the comment section.
Argument.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for a random Twin of the Week.